Good morning, everyone. Your morning weather briefing for this May 3rd finds that there are no major changes in the forecast versus what I presented yesterday. Still one more day of additional significant and locally heavy rains impacting a big portion of the Corn Belt for today before we see limited rainfall for especially later on tomorrow through Tuesday, and then some rains returning to the region for Tuesday night through at least Thursday. Modest rains in the mid-south and southeast to finish off this week, but otherwise their forecast clearly not wet for the next 2 weeks. Still a thunderstorm threat for portions of the hard red winter wheat belt for today, but for the most part, their rainfall chances in the near term have ended, and their longer range forecast is clearly not wet. Still not a situation where we're going to be seeing much in the way of rainfall from the northern plains through at least Monday. Some rains, though, are possible for Tuesday through the rest of the 2 week forecast. Temperature and rainfall maps this morning, really not too much to notice here. No real cold weather in the forecast for any portion of the nation for the next 2 weeks. My 11 to 15 day forecast is leaning towards cooler solutions this morning, and I'll talk about that later on in the presentation. 6 to 10 day forecast with regards to rainfall is inching a little bit wetter all the time with regards to the Corn Belt, and you can see that I am putting some above normal readings in today's forecast for the 6 to 10 day period. Nothing real big though over the next 2 weeks, as I stated, for the southern plains. QPF discussion this morning for the 1 to 5 day time frame. No real disagreements versus what they are showing this morning. I would probably have gone for a little bit of a drier forecast for the mid-south if I were to draw this map myself, but again, I'm not going to make any big arguments against what is shown. With regards to the Corn Belt, a very, very big portion of what is shown there is going to be occurring during the next 24 hours, and you can see that for the hard red winter wheat belt, for the most part, their rainfall chances have come to an end, with anything additional for today just in the north and in the far east. Day 6 to 7 QPF discussion. Again, the 6 to 10 day forecast is inching a little bit wetter all the time. I don't have any real big disagreements with this. I think we're going to be seeing the details changing, but as with regards to Iowa being the favorite area for rainfall in this time frame, I certainly have no disagreement with that. Wouldn't be surprised at all if rainfall is less in the southern plains, especially to the south of the line that I just drew there. High temperatures yesterday, most notable would be the warmth across eastern portions of the nation and also into the southern plains, a situation where we saw temperatures yesterday across a good portion of the southeastern Corn Belt and into northeastern portions of the nation running 10 to 20 plus degrees above normal. We saw a few places in the megalopolis area yesterday with highs above 90, even one spot in Illinois getting above 90 yesterday, and we also saw some 90 plus degree readings in portions of the southern plains. Rainfall through 1 o'clock this morning, extensive and locally heavy amounts of rainfall across a good portion of the northern and western Corn Belt. Some of that rainfall extending into portions of the hard red winter wheat belt, but you can see that those western areas, again, largely missing out on the rainfall that has occurred during the past 24 hours. I'd like to show you our radar estimated rainfall this morning, but the website where I get that is down this morning. I hopefully will have that sent out in an email format later on this morning. As far as a look at the early morning radar, we are still showing extensive shower and thunderstorm activity in portions of the southern plains, and there is still a severe thunderstorm watch issued even at this time early on this Thursday morning for a portion of Oklahoma. Fairly extensive shower and thunderstorm activity also still ongoing early on this Thursday in northern and some eastern portions of the Corn Belt. Still one more round of rainfall during the next 24 hours in the Corn Belt. Probably a situation where we're never going to be seeing rain coming to an end across the Corn Belt during the daytime hours today. The rains that are shown here in southeastern portions of the region, this is as of 7 o'clock this evening, a radar estimation from the short-range high-resolution model. This would be mainly rainfall from the system that is impacting northern and eastern portions of the Corn Belt this morning, and then this right here would be new thunderstorm development in western and northern portions of the Corn Belt that is going to be occurring for this afternoon. So again, one more round of rainfall in the Corn Belt and also one more round of severe weather as well. You can see the severe weather outlook on the top there for today and also for tonight. This is coming after 2 days of fairly extensive severe weather out into the western Corn Belt and plains back on Tuesday, with a lot of tornadic activity in south central Nebraska into Kansas, and then you can see the activity that is occurring occurred during the past 24 hours. Quite a bit of large hail activity during the last 24 hours, especially across the Wisconsin-Illinois border area. Longer term, a situation where we're looking at minimal rainfall in the Corn Belt for later on tomorrow through a portion of Tuesday. And then as we get towards Tuesday night, through about Thursday night, another rainfall threat is going to be impacting the Corn Belt, and you can see that depicted on the European model on the left and from the GFS model on the right. This is as of 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. So a situation from Tuesday night through Thursday night when we are going to be seeing rainfall most anywhere in the Corn Belt. Most spots probably seeing some half to 1 inch amounts, but especially in Iowa, there could be some localized 1+ inch totals. To the south of there, though, a lot of that rainfall missing a big portion of the hard red winter wheat belt, as well as the Mid-South and also the Southeast. Certainly some differences once we get into the very end of the 6 to 10 day period from the various weather models. This is a depiction of the upper level jet stream flow for late in the day on Friday, May 11th, so about 7 o'clock in the evening on Friday, May 11th. You can see from the Canadian ensemble on the bottom, widespread ridging across the nation, GFS ensemble kind of the same thing. Notice the European model, the European operational model in the upper left, showing a very distinct and rather significant upper level low pressure system at that time located in the western Dakotas. And as that system works its way eastward, it really breaks out some very, very significant rainfall in a big portion of the Corn Belt for the Friday, Saturday time frame that finishes up the 6 to 10 day period. How about the European ensemble? Is it showing it? Well, to some degree, yes, and to some degree, no. You can certainly see a little bit of a dip in the jet stream from the European ensemble for that same time frame. So at this point, kind of an iffy situation for the very end of the 6 to 10 day period. Canadian ensemble and its operational model, GFS ensemble and its operational model, clearly saying that the end of the 6 to 10 day period would be dry. European ensemble, though, not so sure. European operational model suggesting a very significant rainfall system for the very end of the 6 to 10 day period. So not willing to totally dismiss this solution just yet, not really willing to totally buy into it yet either. In the 11 to 15 day period, I talked yesterday about some increased rainfall chances in the northern plains for the 11 to 15 day time frame, and this is a look at the 500 millibar forecast from the same time frame that I had in yesterday's video. You can still see that the European ensemble is indicating some nice troughing working its way into the northern Rockies and the northern plains. That would still suggest relatively favorable rainfall chances down the line in the 11 to 15 day period for the northern plains. GFS ensemble certainly backed off, though, a lot more ridging in the nation's midsection at that time frame. Kind of an iffy forecast. I did back off on the northern plains rainfall a little bit today, but certainly the northern plains going to be seeing some rainfall chances off and on, especially as we get towards about Tuesday of next week and beyond. Speaking of differences in the rainfall forecast for late next week and beyond, we have some differences in the temperature forecast as well. No model indicating an exceptionally cool pattern. That is certainly the case, but some models are cooler than others. This is looking at the 500 millibar jet stream pattern for the middle or early portion of the 11 to 15 day period for around the late on May 14th. A Canadian ensemble indicating widespread above normal heights and thus above normal temperatures in a big portion of the nation. GFS ensemble also indicating a lot of above normal heights. European ensemble in the upper right, certainly not a cold pattern by any stretch of the imagination, but certainly indicating a lot less extensive area of above normal heights, more troughing into northwestern portions of the nation, more intensity to the polar vortex as well. European ensemble would certainly suggest that the 11 to 15 day period will not be as cool as the Canadian model and the GFS ensemble. I'm leaning towards that European ensemble solution this morning. Overall, my forecast clearly not cold by any stretch of the imagination in the 11 to 15 day period, but cooler than a lot of forecasts, and that would most certainly include the GFS operational model, which for the 11 to 15 day time frame, which is what I'm showing here, it is going for nothing less than a blowtorch in the 11 to 15 day period, with temperatures in the northwestern Corn Belt and the northern plains running 20 to 25, even 30 degrees above normal. Certainly a forecast that I am eliminating from my own forecast this morning. If few notes internationally this morning down in Brazil for the safrinha corn areas. Still a situation where we are looking at below normal rainfall during the next 2 weeks, but admittedly the forecast is wetter there than what I presented yesterday. Your driest portions of the safrinha corn area still looking to be Goiás, western Bahia, and into portion of Minas Gerais. You can see that the rainfall forecast has been increased to some degree today in the southern growing areas. I think that especially the May 10th through 14th time frame will be a period when the rainfall chances will be best for Mato Grosso do Sul and into Paraná. Still not looking for real big amounts, but better than it looked yesterday. Could be some half to 1.5 inch rainfall amounts there, again, especially for that May 10th through 14th time frame. A lot of big rain still looking to fall in Argentina. The bulk of that rainfall occurring from now through about next Thursday before they do dry out for the second week of the 2-week forecast. No change in the weather pattern for Europe and into the wintergreen areas of the former Soviet Union. A very big area there, looking at minimal amounts of rainfall for the next 10 days. A lot of that area actually is going to be seeing nothing at all. For the spring wheat areas of Russia, again, kind of pointing out where we are. That's the border area between Kazakhstan and Russia. Large area of significant rainfall in the spring rain areas of the former Soviet Union during the next 10 days. Again, I am kind of wondering if they do not have some problems right now in getting the spring grain crop in that area in the ground when you consider that this rainfall in the forecast is also combining with some cool temperatures at times as well. Over in Australia, 24-hour rainfall map with winter wheat areas shaded there on the left. You can see that there was some relatively decent rainfall over the past 24 hours in some of the wheat areas of South Australia. That rainfall is going to be working its way eastward during the next 24 hours and producing some light rainfall amounts of mainly under a half inch for portions of Victoria and into southern New South Wales. That might be about the only rainfall in the 2-week forecast, so you can see that on the right for the 2-week period as a whole, still looking at widespread below normal rainfall in the bulk of the Australian winter wheat belt. That's what I have for this morning. Everyone have themselves a great day.